All right, guys, because I didn't say it. First off and foremost, happy New Year's. Thank you so much for everybody for subscribing and doing everything that you do. Today marks a very special day because we are moving into the next chapter of advanced videos that I'm going to provide you guys. This video, as you can see in the title, and I'm sure in the fancy thumbnail that I've created, this is our last Shelter Survival S1 Heroes breakdown video. This is going to be pretty good, I'm sure, and let's just get started and go through it. So S1, or Season 1 Heroes, represent a new set of heroes introduced in the game with the start of Doomsday Season 1. Technically, just so you guys know, you can get them ahead of time. I actually got War Boss before Doomsday even entered my state, and the reason I did that is I didn't know any better, number one, and number two, he was available in the token shop if you saved up enough and crushed enough chests to get him. So I did that. I wouldn't advise that, and we're going to go through that in this video, but I just wanted you to know you can do that. So anyway, if you need help with Doomsday, I got a link to my Season 1 entire playlist, guys, in the description below. Please go through that. The guide for that will be being released soon as well. And the key to getting these heroes, just so you're aware, is super tickets, guys. You need super tickets. I'm sure you're aware of that with all the heroes that you've gotten so far. And here's the facts. Best way to get them, Clash of Zones, especially in a state that crushes Clash of Zones. So if you want to do that, I'll have a link to my guide and my Clash of Zones videos in the description as well. Download the guide, guys, because it will help you. So let's go into the S1 breakdown. So as you can see, there's a whole lot of heroes available. I'm not to Season 5 just yet. That will be available very soon, and that's going to update. But for now, starting with the S1 heroes, I did some really deep diving, guys, and some soul searching on these so I can give you the best information possible. Long story short, a pattern greatly emerges when it comes to S1 heroes. With this in mind, S1 heroes can be considered active skill augmenters. So I call them that because of the skills that they possess and how they interact with your troops and with your APCs. So all the third row characters, and we're going to list that in a second, use their seventh skill as active skills. The first ones to do that. And unfortunately, these active skills, although they last for 20 minutes, they're really only good for like that one hit. Like you really can't keep them for much longer than that. They've reduced to 30% effectiveness after that. And all the third row heroes that we're going to list will go through that. So that's all they really do. While the second row heroes simply use their seventh skill to do what the other ones do. They just do it slightly better. They give you 40% might or 40% resistance, etc., versus 35 for Razor in them and 30 for the base heroes. HP is still king as far as an attribute goes in the game, meaning you should still lead with Destroyer or Forsaken as they have a 7th skill HP bonus. Side note, there are 3 ultra rare, such as the Flash, Light of the Past, and the Cincinnatus. If you have those, they are technically the first row heroes for the S seasonal heroes. They are the only ones, if fully unlocked, that can take the place of Destroyer or Forsaken. Here's the breakdown. There are 9 S1 heroes in total, 3 third row, 3 second row, and of course 3 front. The rarest are the 3 front rows. So Light of the Past, the Cincinnatus, and the Flash. Each one of those 3 rare heroes leads a troop type, fighters, shooters, and vehicles in that exact order. And these heroes are the simplest of all season heroes to get, so this should be cut and dry. It goes as follows. Those 3 rare go in the front row, Falcon, Courageous, and the Janissary go in the second row, with Dragon Rage, War Boss, and the Professional for the third row. I do not suggest mixing that order up. There are too many other heroes that will do much better in different placements. And unless you have them all unlocked because you have like some kind of special power where you can do that and miss all the rarity like the rest of us have, then you need to put them in their proper place. So with that being said, let me also make something exceptionally clear. And this, if you don't get anything else out of this video, is the most important part of the entire video. And so let me make this perfectly clear. If you do not have duplicates, you do not unlock all their skills, the base heroes will win. So I need to make that as clear as possible. I need you to fully understand, even if you did somehow land the Flash, and I personally didn't, right? Out of all the tickets I've used and all the times, and he's fantastic, and he'll take the place of Destroy or Forsaken. He can only do that if you get a duplicate to first unlock his Awakening, to then get a duplicate, to then hopefully unlock his 7th skill, to then get another duplicate to unlock his 8th skill. Now, you can get away without the 7th skill with replacing, but I would honestly say that I'd be hard pressed to say that he'd actually take over some base heroes with their 7th skill. Even something as Razor, if it's fully unlocked, it's probably going to beat the Flash out if it's fully unlocked. So you can't just get them, unfortunately. You do have to fully unlock them. And if you have not done that, don't just say I got them and put them in your APC. You're going to start losing and you're not going to know why. So with that being said, I want to make this also clear. Each of these heroes are pretty much perfectly balanced. Everybody would like to pretend that there's a favorite or there's a better one, but after really reviewing it and going through each and every one of their skills, they all do have slight differences, but to be very fair, when it comes to S1 heroes, they are balanced for their troop type in their specific row. They really are. So if you have vehicles, Warboss isn't worse than the Professional. He's just for vehicles, so the Professional is going to perform great with shooters. But you'll notice very quickly, as an example for the 3rd row hero, as the Professional, if you go to his skill, his 7th skill, also being an active one like we talked about, because he's a 3rd row hero, he's going to increase marching speed, shooter's might, etc., right? You'll notice very quickly Warboss's nitrous acceleration is literally going to do the exact same thing. And he's just doing it for vehicles. It's really not that different when it comes to these. So I don't want you to tell yourself that one is better than the other, but rather the best seasonal hero you're going to have is the one you have unlocked. And that's just the truth. That's just the facts. Now, as you get into later season 2, season 3, season 4, and we're going to go through those in the next videos, they have specific skills that are really going to change the game quite a bit. That is not the case for Season 1 heroes. So unfortunately, don't get too excited, but do understand the best Season 1 hero you have is the one you have fully unlocked. So for the next 2 segments, we're just going to break this down to how they should actually be used. Here's the actual methods that each row should be used. I'm not going to go through each individual troop type because, well, they all do the same exact thing. But we're going to go through the row. I guess I'm going to use the vehicle S1 heroes to do this demonstration. And then I'll tell you my conclusion, which I think is probably the second most important part of this video. So all the heroes are exactly the same. You're going to have your normal leadership skills along with your normal combat skills, and in that order with the 6th skill awakening them, but it does change a little bit with awakening. Now you're going to have things like vehicle speed, etc. in this particular case, and the others have slightly different ones, but it all pretty much does the exact same thing. And then you're going to have your final skill, and each of these final skills will be friendly squad handy. So for these examples, I'm actually going to go ahead and use the fighters as my specific group, just so I can give you examples of how exactly they should be used. I will make this clear. The 8th skill of Warboss is the only of the 3rd rows that will only hit 2 of the enemy squads. Now, he has a 50% chance to do that, but he'll only hit 2 squads, whereas Dragon Rage on his 8th skill will clearly hit 3 squads, and he'll do it at 60% with a prep. And you'll have the Professional that will also hit 3 enemy squads. He'll just do it on different times. Now, granted, because one has no prep and the other hits less, etc., they are really balanced. But I like Dragon Rage for that reason. I think he's going to do a much better job as long as you have strong fighters. So their skills break down the exact same way. You're going to have your leadership skills along with your combat skills following up, each of them in their respective fields like we talked about. You can pretty much ignore the links because all the links link to purple heroes, and you better believe that the other orange heroes will outbeat any of the link combos that you might get. It will give you 5% boost. We don't need 5%. What we need is Razor or Forsaken doing some suppression or something like that. We don't need 5%. So the 3, as we talked about for the rear, the Professional, Warboss, and Dragon Rage will all hit perfectly from the 3rd row. And what makes them unique, like I said, is those active skills, but that's really not the important part to understand. It's going to be these combat skills that are really going to do a really good job. Like, for instance, Dragon's Might's going to suppress the enemy. Only that one squad, though, and he's going to do some serious damage. Combining him with things like Forsaken and Destroyer, who will also do similar things, can create quite a problem for some fancy shooters out there. So best third row S1 clearly goes to either Dragon Rage or the Professional. Still, whichever one you have fully unlocked, and also depending on your technology, because you might not have T9 for all three at this point, those are the ones that you're going to want to work on. So to start with the second row, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Courageous, because he's with fighters following Dragon Rage. All of them are going to do pretty well. I found that the Janissary seems to be one of the weakest for the shooter segment that I've seen. I think you can do much better with Reaper. However, even though he doesn't hit quite as hard, the Courageous with the fighters has slightly higher percentages. He's going to also give the same buffs as he does Augment, like the other two do, excuse me. And he's going to take care of all three squads as long as they all have fighters. The second row hero's last skill will require you to not have mixed APC. So when you're dealing with S1 heroes and base heroes, never have a mixed APC. Go all fighters in all three rows, all shooters, or all vehicles. Each of their awakening skills simply adds to their respective troop types' combat speed, along with their might and resistance and the dictator skills. So honestly, if you had the Courageous completely unlocked, he's one of the better heroes, especially for fighters. Dragon's pretty cool as well, but you'll find that Courageous and the Falcon really hit the mark, whereas in my personal opinion, the Janissary, although great, doesn't quite do the same for shooters. So finally, last but not least, we're going to go right into the rarest of them all, and that will be the Light of the Past, the Flash, and Cincinnatus. So the Light of the Past, the guy's a beast, all right? So this guy's literally going to steal and absorb damage attributes from your enemy. I mean, he's really, really good at what he does. He's only going to give might in his 7th skill, so it's not my favorite for that, but it's his other skills, his combat skills, that really hit the mark. And if you are using fighters and you have him fully unlocked, I mean, shooters are going to have a damn hard time taking down the Light of the Past. So this is where fighters really start to shine, and the seasonal heroes are really going to make fighters do what they do. And he is an HP awakened hero, so that's going to make a really, really big difference, making him the strongest, in my personal opinion, for the first row. Now, just so we're clear, because everything is pretty balanced, the Cincinnatus is right up there with him because he also offers HP and he'll also offer resistance, making him even better for the first row in a sense. But I don't really like his second skill, as it only has a 30% chance to be effective. But this first skill, each squad of the Finley APC will be in dodge status for the first attack for the first 4 turns. Every turn has 70% chance to obtain minus 40% skill damage for enemy troops. That's really, really huge. However, at the same time, so that dodge status is really just for the first row. And ultimately, as wonderful as that is, if you have multiple units being hit by other teams and equal suppression and things like that from other heroes, he's only going to be so effective. So Cincinnatus, I still say that you don't quite beat out the Amazing Light of the Past. The Flash is really cool too. The difference is he starts tapping into another skill set, meaning the vehicle speed. And believe me, that's super important. Actually, combat speed and vehicle speed and things like that are really going to play a much major part. And again, they're really all balanced, guys. I cannot stress that enough, and I hate repeating that, but it's the truth. I want you guys to fully understand. Whichever one of these heroes you have fully maxed out will be able to replace a prospective base hero in that row. So your biggest takeaway is to follow the rows and follow the troop type and line your APC that way. So the epic conclusion of this S1 hero breakdown, and we're going to do this for all of the S heroes. I really want you guys to fully understand, because they're going to get really, really complicated, and I want to break down what each one of these skills really does for you as we go on. But here's the big takeaway. You can get these heroes pretty early, and you can get them in abundance if you save your super tickets and wait for legendary recruitments and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and pop each and every one of these tickets as we do each and every one of these videos. So I only have one S1 hero left. You guys get to see exactly what it is. I got War Boss duplicate. Not my favorite one, but that's okay. I can use the duplicate. I'm going to fully unlock him now, and we're going to move forward with that. That was fantastic for me. And I need you guys to fully understand, here's what you're going to want to do. Save your tokens. I want to say once a month or once every 6 weeks or so, they are going to pop the seasonal heroes inside of the token shop. You can buy your duplicates there. I got duplicates of War Boss as well as duplicates for Falcon in that token shop. As you progress through Doomsday, you're going to have access to more duplicates of the previous season. So you can get duplicates of S2, duplicates of S3, etc. You do not have to leave your state and do all those fancy things to get them. They will be available. My suggestion, focus on one and do it entirely. Also, the tokens are very limited. So you're going to want to save enough where you can get all of them at one time. So as an example, I have 136 out of 200 for Falcon. That is because I bought partial amounts, meaning even if I had the total amount, it'll give me my duplicate, but it will not let me get another 200. It will only allow you to get one duplicate at a time. So save all your tokens to the best of your ability, unless you're going for other development heroes and things like that ahead of time. Save them for your S1 heroes and get them unlocked as soon as possible, because that's how they become strong, and do not spread them out. Focus on one troop type, focus on one team, whichever one you choose, and you will succeed. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This is Ace of Spades. Download the guide for COZ. Check us out on Triple Host Gaming, and check us out on Rise of Empires, guys. We're making some serious headway over there. They're just starting their Clash of the Provinces or whatever it's called, and I'm going to teach them how to do that. All right, guys, Ace of Spades, Team BLA, and I'm signing out.